Hello and welcome. You are watching Gravitas Plus. I am Molly Gambhir. From our plates and cravings list, delicious snacks like samosas and jalebis made their way to the headlines this week. You probably already know what I'm talking about. We all know watching what we eat is important for our health. For some, healthy eating is a non-negotiable. For others, it's something they wish to practice but fail at miserably. Let's tell you about an initiative in India focusing on making healthier choices at workplaces. The Union Health Ministry has issued an advisory. Basically, it advises about the display of boards in various workplaces like lobbies, canteens, cafeterias, meeting rooms, etc. Just to put it simply, these boards are meant to be daily reminders on fighting obesity. The aim is to raise awareness about harmful consumption of hidden fats and excess sugar in various food items. After all, excessive consumption of oil and sugar are key contributors to the rising rate of obesity, diabetes, hypertension, and other lifestyle-related diseases. So the general advisory is essentially a behavioral nudge to make people aware about hidden fats and excess sugar in food products. Following concerns, the Indian Health Ministry clarified that they had not issued any directive about putting up warning labels on products like samosas and jalebis. It was also made clear that the Health Ministry advisory does not direct warning labels on food products sold by vendors and has not been selective towards Indian snacks. This initiative basically is part of the ministry's flagship initiatives under the National Program for Prevention and Control of Non-Communicable Diseases. In fact, obesity has been on the rise in India and has become a major public health challenge in the country, affecting people across all age groups and increasing the risk of diseases like diabetes, heart disease, hypertension. Obesity is rising at an alarming rate, driven by unhealthy diets, sedentary lifestyles, and environmental factors impacting both urban and rural populations. What has further contributed to this mounting crisis and has been a major factor is the shift towards processed foods, reduced physical activity, and lifestyle changes. As per the World Health Organization, overweight and obesity are defined as abnormal or excessive fat accumulation that presents a risk to health. Just to be specific here, a body mass index or BMI over 25 is considered overweight and over 30 is obese. Across the world, an escalating global epidemic of overweight and obesity, globesity, has been making its presence felt in different parts. And if immediate action is not taken, millions could suffer from an array of serious health disorders. Obesity poses a major risk for serious diet-related non-communicable diseases, including cardiovascular disease, hypertension, stroke, certain forms of cancer. Its health consequences range from increased risk of premature death to serious chronic conditions that reduce the overall quality of life. Rates of overweight and obesity continued to grow in adults and children. From 1990 to 2022, the percentage of children and adolescents between the ages of 5 and 19 years living with obesity increased fourfold, from 2% to 8% globally, while the percentage of adults 18 years of age and older living with obesity more than doubled, from 7% to 16%. A global analysis published in the Lancet journal has estimated that by 2050, India could have over 440 million obese and overweight people. The Indian Prime Minister has also made a strong pitch for combating obesity. He has said obesity will have to be dealt with to be a fit and healthy nation. Once considered a problem only in high-income countries, today some middle-income countries have among the highest prevalence of overweight and obesity worldwide. In fact, as far as measuring obesity is concerned, experts recently called for a more nuanced approach towards it. In January, authors of a Lancet Commission report called for an overhaul of how obesity is diagnosed, calling for a new method that looked at factors like waist circumference or waist to hip ratio, in addition to BMI. Why? Interestingly, they said that BMI or body mass index is not an honest measure of health or disease and can therefore result in a wrong diagnosis. The team suggested two new categories for diagnosing obesity, which are objective measures of illness in an individual, clinical obesity, and preclinical obesity. They explained that while clinical obesity refers to a chronic or persistent condition because of an obesity-related organ dysfunction, preclinical obesity is related to an increased health risk without illness. In different parts of the world, different kinds of efforts have been made to reduce the levels of obesity. In the UK, food retailers and manufacturers will make the healthy choice the easy choice in a partnership with government and industry to tackle the obesity epidemic. In the UK, the Office for Health Improvement and Disparities estimated that more than a quarter of the English population is now obese. Rates of obesity have doubled since the 1990s. In the United States as well, for example, obesity is a big problem, with nearly 3 in 4 adults in America considered overweight or have obesity, according to a 2024 study published in the medical journal The Lancet. That's a huge rise since the 1990s, when just over half of adults were living with obesity. Japan stands out as a great example. It has one of the lowest obesity rates of any country in the developed world. The economic impacts of the obesity epidemic are also important. If nothing is done, the global costs of overweight and obesity are predicted to reach $3 trillion per year by 2030 and more than $18 trillion by 2060. There is a common perception that those in highly developed countries are relatively sedentary, which basically would mean greater obesity risk. But a new study shatters that belief in a way and throws up something rather unexpected. According to it, those in developed countries like Americans, Europeans, spend around the same amount of total calories most days as those in less industrialized countries. So is inactivity not a key factor leading to obesity? Exercise, of course, is important, but in order to tackle obesity, the study suggests that the focus needs to be on diet. Ultra-processed foods seem to be a major culprit. The question remains, how often do you watch what you eat and are mindful of what's in your food? Mostly, one's relationship with unhealthy food is rather complicated, a hate-love relationship, if you will. Some are strict about staying away from it. Others indulge on so-called cheat days while being disciplined on other days. And there are many who cannot afford to indulge in particular food items because of health reasons. But a fact that's somewhat difficult to digest is not knowing what's in your food can be dangerous. While you count your blessings, also count your calories. Perhaps tailoring your menu and the items on your plate as per what your body needs. Speak to nutritionists, dietitians, experts for a better understanding perhaps. Now, more than ever, healthy, conscious eating is the way to go.